All right, welcome everyone and everyone that are still joining us. Welcome to another MakerDAO Collateral call. Today is January the 27th, 2021. It's around 6 p.m. UTC. And yeah, we're very happy to have Vasily with us from the project Lido. So yeah, Vasily is going to walk us a little bit through the project, how it works, and then we're going to discuss more in detail the MIP6 collateral application for staked ETH. So yeah, Vasily, if you want to take it away.
Okay. So my name is Vasily. I'm CTO of P2P staking provider and tech lead of Lido, the liquid staking project for Ethereum. I'll do a short introduction of how Lido works. I will show what are our current market statistics and on-chain statistics, and we'll answer questions whenever you have them. So I'll stop a bit every few minutes to take questions.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Vasily, for reminding me. So if anyone wants to interrupt at any given point to ask questions, let's try to keep it very informal, so we all try to understand as much as possible.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing at Lido. We doing a liquid staking for Ethereum. Um, what problem are we solving? The current protocol for Ethereum 2.0 staking that is likely to change is not super convenient. It requires a lot of ETH to stake. You sacrifice the liquidity of your tokens, so you can't like trade them, or you can't make them a collateral, and that's eaten into Ethereum security, because if you get a bigger yield on either in collateral, you don't have an incentive to stake. Um, so the one of the probable solution for that is what is called staking derivatives, liquid staking. That idea is when you stake, you get a liquid token that represents your staked Ether that can be used in DeFi protocols, just as Ether can, and that has staking rewards on top. So it's kind of the only thing that it can do that it can't do that Ether can is pay fees. Otherwise, it's very similar in every aspect, but also have rewards on top. That project is very important right now, because transition process to fully operational at the 2.0 can take more than 2 years. It can take half a year or a year or maybe more. No one knows when you can unstake your Ether. And a lot of people want to earn yield on staking while keeping the tokens liquid. If that staked Ether can be used in DeFi, it means it's additional yield under your usual yield. So everyone is interested in a solution that can solve the issue with staking, the illiquidity, the technical difficulties to stake, etc., and allow them to make returns while keeping the tokens liquid. So essentially, people who don't stake Ether right now are probably getting a bit diluted right now. So people, for example, that keep the 2 million Ether in stake in Maker right now, if they could have staking returns on top, they would be in much better position. So how it works? now you deposit any amount of ETH into Lido, and you receive the corresponding amount of liquid staked Ether token in return and earn daily staking rewards. You have full control of them. You can use it in DeFi, on exchanges, etc. And after the phase 2 of Ether or phase 1 to 1.5, it's not clear yet. You will be able to unstake.
Vasily, I have a question regarding
Yeah.
this unstaking. So I've heard that in ETH 2.0 you cannot unstake if you have your own node. So the liquidity is locked there. But in this case, let's say that, I don't know, I give you 1 ETH and everyone gives you, I don't know, you make a node of 32, but I want to unstake my 1 ETH. Like how do you solve that problem from your end? Do you wait for some other user to stake an ETH to give it to me, or?
So right now, unstaking is not possible. So the
Okay.
ways to solve that problems are theoretical. But yeah, we batch unstaking. You won't have to wait if you lose Lido. We just unstake if there is no buffer for to return to get the unstaked Ether. We unstake a bit in advance, and you get your one Ether, and there is a 31 Ether buffer with a bit of reward on top. That's waiting for the next unstaking event.
Okay, so basically you're keeping a buffer for anyone that wants to unstake.
Yeah, and if buffer is not enough, we pull additional validators from Beacon chain and unstake them. Unstaking is
Okay.
pretty complicated, so I uh, I can't describe it all on call because I didn't prepare materials for that. The reason is unstaking is an asynchronous process. You like issue a command to unstake, and then wait some time, and then you withdraw. And in that time, there can be a slashing, and slashing is also as a synchronous process, and very long at that. So when you need to combine those two with the LiDAR principle of all rewards and losses are socialized between all liquid staking users, it results in a pretty complicated algorithm for determining and executing withdrawals. But the gist of it is, yes, you can unstake any amount with Lido, and Lido keeps tracking of buffered, unbuffered Ether and validators for you. So if you have any questions on what I already said, then please go on.
I'm curious about the validators part. Like, are you running the nodes yourself? Like, is Lido running the nodes, or is it someone else? How do you?
Lido has a DAO. I'm going to talk about it a bit later.
Okay.
The idea is that Lido selects a curated list of node operators. Currently, Lido has 5 node operators. It's
Mm-hmm.
P2P, Stakefish, Certus, Choros, and staking facilities. Uh, uh, they are all prominent and have a great track record. So they combined, we were all of us operate for multiple years in the space, and combined we have probably 3 or 4 billion of assets at stake. So yeah, Lido's got pretty good operators.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we probably will not probably we will increase the set. The goal of Lido is to maintain the sustainable pace of node operators. So not a single one of them should operate at a loss at any point in time. The reason for that, why we are sorry about it, is because in the phase 0 and phase 1, either is essentially a hostage for node operators. They can turn off the machines, and it'll go to it'll have like 50% penalties, for example. So they should absolutely be solvent and sustainable. That's why we increase the node operator set slowly when we have enough income. We just got to the point when we have enough income to onboard one more node operator. We'll have a selection procedure because we got a few applications already, and then we'll have 6 node operators. And after that, we'll when we have a sustainable way to onboard one more, we will onboard one more, etc.
Sounds good. If no one has any other questions, I guess we can move on to the next slide.
Okay. So Lido is pretty easy to use. The staking widget, you just say how much of Ether you should stake. You will receive the amount of staked Ether in return corresponding to your staked Ether, and that's basically it.
What's the staking rewards fee, Vasily?
Lido has a fee on staking rewards. Every time rewards are reported on to Lido smart contract. I'll get to that in a bit. Every time the rewards are reported, if there was a staking profit this day, staking rewards, 10% of it is distributed between Lido DAO and node operators. Node operators combined get 5% of the reward, and the Lido DAO gets another 5%. Currently, that Lido DAO part of the reward is funneled into insurance pool. We are talking to insurance providers about insurance of staking risk. We don't have it now, but we have an insurance fund that is growing slowly, and we will be soon at the point when we can afford the insurance with some of the well, not insurance cover, with some of the cover providing decentralized projects like Nexus or Shield DAO or something else.
So just to understand the math, if so let's say that I stake, I don't know, in this example is 100 ETH, and the variable rate of the ETH 2.0 network right now is giving, I don't know, 15%. That means that I would get 5% because it's 15 minus 10. It's
that you will get about 13 and 5% more or less. 10%
okay, so
of the
reward
is taken to the DAO.
So it's 10% of that 15%.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sounds good. Got it.
We have a governance token and the governance. The reason to have a governance is we basically have 3 important things to manage in for this staking process. One is node operator selection. The list is curated. It's not driven by the market. It's curated by the DAO, and the staking is that the staking amounts are distributed in a round robin fashion between node operators, so they have an approximately equal amount of under stake each. to increase decentralization. We need to select them carefully. The other function is managing the fees. So right now we have a pretty sustainable and competitive fees, but it's totally possible, for example, that in a year the market will settle on like 3% fees for staking. That means that we will have to lower our fees too, or maybe it'll be the other way around when the market settles at like 15%. I don't know. We need to manage that too. And the third, the probably most important part is that Beacon chain is not in its final form. The staking protocol is squirming under us right now, so it will change, and the smart contracts will have to be upgraded, and someone will have to upgrade them. So these are three main reasons we need to have governance. Governance members are some of the prominent DeFi ecosystem folks and the initial team and a few selected investors. We combined, they have about 65% of the tokens, and the rest is mostly right now sitting in the DAO treasury, and BIT is distributed with the airdrops and liquidity mining rewards. So the mandate of Lido DAO and consequently governance risk that maker should consider is managing incentives, token parameters, protocol parameters, managing the fees, and smart contracts updates, and node operator management. The other important part of tech design, and again the point of risk, is that we are using the distributed threshold signature to hold Ethereum to point of funds. When staking on Beacon chain, you have to you have to provide withdrawal credentials. These are the set of private. Well, you provide the public the credential that a hash of a public key of BLS corresponding to a BLS private key that will be able to manage funds when they are withdrawn from the validators. There are currently no workaround. Then you can't work around that. It has to be a public key corresponding to a private key. You can't put a smart contract at the withdrawal credentials right now. And our solution to this was to make a disputed threshold signature between 11 parties. It's working a bit like a 6 of 11 multi-sig. The difference between multi-sig and threshold signature in this case is only that threshold signature is not tributable. You can't say who exactly did sign or didn't sign. So the other important part is that staked ETH is a rebasable token. So every day, a set of oracles that are currently the same as the set of node operators, five oracles that are operated by P2P, Stakefish, staking facilities, Chorus, and Certus, provide updates about how staking is going on Beacon chain. So if there was a reward in this day, or there was a slashing this day, and how all the balance had changed, and that information is used to make a very slight rebase to the value of to the balances of people holding staked ETH tokens. So every day the balance is changing right now about 0.003% or something like that. It can change a bit more to the upside, and about 10% to the downside in the catastrophic event of huge slashing. Realistically. So that is one of the main technical problems for integrations. We have workaround for that. I'll talk about it a bit too. So with Lido, you can have your cake and eat it. You have a token, liquid token that can represent your Ether staked, and you can earn stake rewards on top of it. So it makes a productive asset you hold, and that can be used as I think a very good kind of collateral in all kinds of protocols. So I'll stop for a bit of questions, and then I'll go about market situation.
So how are the kind of stake rewards distributed to people that provide?
Can you read smart contracts? I can show in smart contracts, or I can explain in human terms what's better.
If you could explain it, probably be better for me. I won't speak for everyone else in the room.
So every day your balance in the wallet or on smart contracts that's hold staked Ether will change a bit. Most likely increase a bit. It's not there is no transaction that transfer value in your wallet. It just if you call the balance of function of this token before the Oracle reports, you get like 1.0000000 Ether staked Ether, and if you do the same after Oracle reports, you'll get like 1.003. It works like all the rebase tokens that are all the rage since Ampleforth, except it's not like money games. It's reflecting the corresponding the balance that corresponds to your staked Ether on the beacon chain. When you get staked rewards on beacon chain, your balance increases a bit.
Awesome, thank you.
Hi, Vasily. I have a question. So, with regards to delegating your Ether, do you get to pick the validators, or is that something that algorithmically chosen?
It's automated, algorithmically chosen. The algorithm is to distribute it as evenly as possible between node operators. So when we have we want to make liquid staking that is compatible with Ethereum security, and that means that the staking should be as distributed as possible. We don't want one party in Lido to have like a huge stake and the other have small stake. We want to have the stake distributed evenly, so that one operator failure is impact is minimized, and it will be harder to collude and things like that. We are banking very heavily on node operators' reputation and track record, so we can afford that.
Got it. And I saw in one of your slides that you mentioned that you were going to be offering staking services in different blockchains? Does that pertain to, I guess, Polkadot, Solana, et cetera, et cetera?
We are currently laser focused on Ethereum. So that's the main goal we have to make the best liquid staking for Ethereum possible among all the our competition is other liquid staking projects, the regular staking, and the most importantly exchange staking. So we must make a product that is competitive with exchange staking, and that means it's a very hard battle to fight. So we're laser focused on it. But the basic architecture works very well with almost any staking asset out there. So it can be Polkadot, it can be Solana, it can be Cosmos-based chains, it can be Ethereum-based protocol is staking, like Graph protocol or something like that. The liquid staking approach that we are taking works very well with almost anything.
Got it. And so how does this work? Say I mint 100 ETH, right? Stake ETH, and then I take a loan out on Aave. Market drops, right? ETH gets cut in half. Hopefully that won't happen, but it gets cut in half. I get liquidated by Aave. How does that affect my original ETH in your protocol? Like, in other words, does the validator reduce my stake? I just kind of want to get an idea. Maybe you explained it and I missed it, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, I get what you're asking. The thing is, your staked ETH position is liquidated now. I hope not, but yeah, let's imagine. It means that somebody buys your staked ETH position. So nothing happens to what is taken on either ETH 2.0. It's just your staking position is now does now belong to a different person. That's all. So
Including
you 100 ETH, and now he is taking 100 ETH with Lido. That's the result of liquidation.
including the penalty, like, for example, Maker has 13% penalty, liquidation penalty.
The penalty, I'm not quite familiar where the Maker penalty goes. I think it's it just whoever you get your penalty, like 30% penalty applied to you, and someone makes profit of it. So that someone probably have like 30% of your staking position or something.
Yeah, so I think that the short answer is that the relationship doesn't change, and then someone else will potentially bid for your staked ETH, and they will own your ETH based on that token.
Yeah, I mean, every transfer of staked ETH, including liquidation, that's just a complicated form of transfer, is just someone taking your staking position. That's all. That's the beauty of liquid staking. So the staking didn't change. You didn't have to unbond, bond, etc. It just you were staking 100 either with Lido, and now the other person is the. That's all that changed.
Okay, understood. And I was reading real quickly this morning that you want to take that stake ETH and use it in Curve. I guess you're going to get to that eventually.
Yeah.
Okay,
you
cool.
can see the.
All right.
Yeah, the next point. Anything else?
That's it for me.
I was wondering, Vasily, how does it work when? So if, let's say, I put 10 ETH, you give me 10 staked ETH, and then my ETH go into a validator. And I think you mentioned that there are 5 different providers that you have, and it's chosen algorithmically. So now the question is, let's say that my ETH is in validator A. I can't remember the names, but let's say it's with the A, and that validator does something wrong. Would my ETH get slashed, or is it? So because I'm on validator A, would I get slashed, and someone that's staked on validator B would not? Or we are all part of a pool and everything is distributed accordingly? I don't know if my
It's
question is clear.
socialized. Everyone is slashed at the same time. So if it doesn't matter where your exactly piece of Ether can go, if we can even tell where it did it go, because if you like staked 10 ETH, it's get buffered and it's not saying where it got. But it doesn't matter. It's all internal and it's all socialized. The rewards are socialized and the slashes are socialized. The reason for the design is that to make staking liquid, you have to make it fungible.
Right.
So fees must be the same. The risks must be the same. And int means that everything that happens to all of staked Ether in the pool.
Sounds good. And the other question is, I think it was Pros that commented that it is not available in the US. Do you guys do KYC or?
We geofence the front end that P2P P2P maintains, P2P validator.
Okay, but there's no
So
KYC involved.
yeah, there is no KYC. There is geofence, and so smart contracts don't have geofence, obviously.
All right, Pros. VPN for you, I guess. Are there any other questions? Okay, we can move on, I guess.
Okay. So current market situation for staked ETH is we have about almost 100,000 of Ether staked with us, with 2,000 holders. And if you count again the holders not of only staked ETH, but also holders of staked ETH liquidity pools token, it will be about 2,500, something like that. It's steadily growing in total supply and in holders amount every day. We have incentivized liquidity pool on Curve. It's currently very big, about $200 million. It's incentivized by Lido governance tokens. Liquidity is central to liquid staking, obviously. So that's what we're going to do. Probably that's a DAO decision, but I don't see it not happening. It's maintaining very close peg for. So, for example, if you want to exit the staking position with 100 staked Ether, you get 99.93 Ethers, which is a very good ratio right now. If you want to exit like 10,000, you'll get like 98% of them in Ether. So Curve does wonders on maintaining the peg. We had already two big exits, one for 5,000 Ethers and one for 20,000 Ethers. And the peg was off for a little bit, about 0.97, I think we had, so we 97%. But it returned to the peg very, very quickly. There is a Nansen board about Lido, so you can see how the growth was. The price, it's floating around 1-to-1 peg with slight drops and returns. The trading volume, amount of staked Ether on exchanges, the growth of unique addresses, top balances, etc. So I think we are going pretty good. We've got pretty good growth, and I think that we'll have more. And if we not if when we can provide staked Ether as a collateral, it'll be even faster. So compared to other liquid staking competitors, we have way more Ether staked. For example, that StakeHound staked Tether. Anchor staked Tether has 33,000, and Cream has 24, and we have almost 100. And we keeping back very good. So
so hang on, the incentive to, well, one of the incentives to deposit it into the curve pool is that it also farms Lido governance tokens. Did I catch that right?
yes. Exactly.
Okay, I see. Okay, thanks.
We bootstrap liquidity so we can make staked Tether more useful. Because that's the main thing. We want a staked Tether to be in the foundation of DeFi. So that's yield under all the yield. And that means that we have to have a pretty good liquidity.
Yeah, sure. Sorry if that came across direct. I was looking in the background at Uniswaps for the price for that token, and then looking at the pool deeper on Etherscan. There's a really large holder, and I'm just really struggling with, let's say I have enough ETH to actually stake an ETH 2.0. What's my incentive? And by understanding that you also get this governance token to participate in this solution that's better for other people, that makes more sense. So I was just trying to unpack that. So thanks for answering.
Yeah, the huge Uniswap is probably the StakeHound staked ETH token. I'm not sure, but we don't have a big Uniswap position right now, so you can see that it's pretty small compared to Curve. Yeah, people provide a very valuable service to Lido by making it staked Ether liquid, and we reward them with governance right for it. So we started to do the legwork to integrate staked Ether as a make collateral. It's a rebasable token, and Maker doesn't work out of the box with them. So we made a constant balance wrapper. And we made an Oracle, but Oracle is work in progress right now. We're getting feedback from the respective teams about it. So I think that's all I wanted to tell you. Well, maybe there are like small factoids, like we were audited. We've been audited by Quantstamp and Sigma Prime. But I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say. If you have questions, go on.
Yeah, we might be getting ahead of ourselves, but I went through like those chats in the Maker chat for the constant balance. Have you guys, I don't know how many days ago you engaged the Maker team, but I think there was some question about it being in Viper versus Solidity. So I was just curious if there's any progress on that, or can unpack it a little.
We didn't have a definite reply on how is it a blocker, something like that. If need be, we can make it in Solidity. We already made it in Solidity, so there is Solidity to the implementation of constant balance wrapper. We just we don't want to fracture the constant balance wrappers between multiple tokens, because one is already leaf and it's got not a lot, but I think 500 adders locked in it. So it's not a it's not a blocker, but we would really prefer to have this one. If not, we can do so. We made the most of the legwork for oracles and wrappers. We can take point on audits for this if maker wants audits. We just maybe would like to share the cost of it because audits are so we willing to put in work, but audits are expensive. You know that. But they're pretty. They're not very complicated. And very well tested. So that's like maker's preference.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful, Vasily, what you're doing, helping the respective teams with part of the legwork, since it's probably much easier to verify something and review than start from scratch and do all the work. So I'm sure they appreciate it.
Yeah, I understand they're very much overworked right now. That's what people keep telling me. We basically will do anything that is not your input. Basically, when there are a few variants of how we can do things, and we need to compare trade-offs, we can do it for you. But when we have this feedback, we can implement anything.
Sounds good. We'll pass the message. Any other questions, team, pros?
Are there other liquidity sources other than Curve?
Curve is now the single one that was talking about. There is a bit on SushiSwap, on Uniswap, but it's so minor, it's not relevant. I think it will be on centralized exchanges because it's got some volume trading, and it's very easy to market make, I think. So I don't see them passing on any stake tether. And some of the tier 3 exchanges had already done it, but again, there is no liquidity to speak of. But for now and for the foreseeable future, I think Curve will be the main source of liquidity. It won't be the only, but it will be the main one.
Yeah, I mean, it tends to be that like newer markets have like large whales sort of doing what they're doing. Like when I mentioned the Etherscan view into the holders, but I'm just thinking about the Oracle. The median user needs extra feeds, so if it only has one, I think Nick was talking about a flash loan attack. So I was just asking to see if there are other liquidity sources, and it makes sense that they will probably in time, considering the market is liquid and there's like a market for the product itself. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah. There are solutions to flash loan attacks. It's frankly embarrassing. I didn't see it. I just assumed that all Oracle's operations are permissioned by the Oracles, but it turns it's not true. And I looked at. But it's solvable even as it is now. We are working on a few options to discuss with Nick. Yeah, POC is not permissioned, and I assume that is for some reason. The reason is I would decide it's permissioned, and I didn't check. So we will have a workable Oracle. It's not that hard. The reason the the problem is not to make it. It's the problem is where to put the logic on smart contract, on off chain, and how exactly to do it. So we'll present the options, and I hope Nick finds something that he likes. In any case, it is really hard to break curve liquidity to even with a flash loan. For example, on 100,000 Ether, the flash loan that Nick proposed makes like 30% impact on the curve. So even with flash loans, it's not easy to break the break on curve. So
yeah, I think yeah, I don't know the possible risks.
yeah, we will talk it with Nick. Just
Yeah.
I can tell that solution is there. It's not impossible to make. It's not even hard to make a good protocol for staked Ether.
Good. In Nick we trust then. All right. Any other questions before we close and we call it a day?
Thanks for presenting. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vasily. It was great having you. Where can people find more about you and Lido Finance, your Twitter or wherever?
We've got we've got a Twitter, Lido Finance. That's a Telegram group. And a web page where you can find all the communities.
Sounds good. All right, thank you very much. And yeah, next week we will have from Real World Assets the Reino team. That's REINNO. So Natalia and her team are going to be joining us for Real World Assets Collateral Onboarding. So see you guys there. And thanks again, Vasily, for presenting to us.
Okay, thank you.
See you. Looking forward to seeing Lido, well, staked ETH by Lido on Maker.
Thank you.